Hello everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. I hope you're all doing well after Christmas. This is 2 days past Christmas Day and I'm sort of getting back into organizing things a little bit, and maybe I'll do a little spring cleaning. Meantime, I thought I would show you a few of the funky things and grungy things and so forth that I've been playing with just over the last few days. And I hope you like them. If you have any questions, you can always get in touch with me and I can perhaps answer them for you. Anyway, the first thing I want to show you is, I guess you might call it a trick. What I have done over the years, many years, is I'll sometimes sit on my lanai, get a nice piece of printer paper, the size that will go through the printer, and then I go through old magazines and I cut out headings, words, inspiration like here, just different words that appeal to me, and various fonts and different, depending on what I want. This was sort of for grungy type things more, and maybe a little bit French, so I did cut out a few French things that I found in a French magazine. So I cut them out and I glue them onto this paper. And then I keep that, that's my base, and I keep that. And I've done this for many years, particularly when I was really poor and I didn't have any fancy equipment at all. So I would use a lot of words cut out of magazines, old magazines. So this is what I do. So I cut out, paste it on there. Then here's a printout. I print it out usually to check and see that everything looks okay when it's printed. And eventually I can cut out just the pieces I want to print, but in this case I thought, no, I'll just print the whole thing. And so I printed, of course, reverse image, mirror image, onto printer iron-on paper, and that's the result of that one. So this becomes this, and then I've got all sorts of goodies to play with if I want words, and I like words on things. I feel like words really give you more of the feeling of what the object's meant to be. Not always, of course, but I do like to use words a lot. And I like to use foreign words. I like Italian words and French words, and I like English words and whatever, Spanish words, just depending. And if I'm doing, say, a French fabric book, well, then I'll print out a whole page of French words as well. So I'll show you what I did with this one that I cut out. You can see I've cut out two things there. I had keys, I should say, keys in French. So there's the word keys, clés in French, and two French keys hanging. This was some French magazine. And so I cut those out, and then I'm making some grungy hearts. I've made these over the years where I coffee stain everything, and then I make these grungy hanging hearts. So this one's in the works, and you can see I cut out the word discarded from that paper I just showed you, and one of the keys. And I'm going to finish this with some buttons and stitchery, and then I'll add a bit of lavender as well and put it on a twine hanger, and that's that one. And the back of it, what have I got on the back? Oh, on the back I haven't put a word, but I should, so I'll have to think of what word I could put on the back. Since I put discarded here, I could put the good life maybe, or farmhouse, just something like that. So that's what I do with those. I thought you might be interested. The other thing I've been playing around with, I make snippet rolls all the time. Oh, here's another one of these in the works, by the way. This one doesn't have one of those transfers on it, but it has a stamp on it. So I'll show you more of those when they're done. I'm going to sit on my lanai later and make those. The next thing I'm going to show you is some things I do with snippets. I don't call them snippet rolls because they never get that far. I cut them up before I get to the roll, so I generally don't have a whole lot. But anyway, I do like to use them. I find them very, very useful. And so here are some things I've done with some snippet rolls. First of all, I made some postcards. So there's a snippet roll attached to the postcard, and there's the back of the postcard. This one's still in the works. I haven't finished it. I think I'm going to put a little glitter somewhere here. And here's another one. And this one, I spent an hour or so yesterday soaking stamps, old stamps. I have a box, and I'll show you. I have a box I made here, and I keep it with stamps. I've got 2 or 3 of these boxes, and I have stamps from all over the world, and I like to get them off the background for the most part. If there's a really, really fancy background piece of letter, I'll leave it, but generally no. So I took them off yesterday, and I put a snippet roll here, and one of my velvet flowers there, and then the stamp that I'd just stamped off. So that's another idea, and that's also postcard. And here I have an envelope that I made. I know it's quite yellow, but this is some paper that came enclosed in one of the Stampington's journals. You know, they give you free art papers, so I tear them out. So this is another one, and there's a snippet on there, and inside are 2 more tags, and I think you'll find they have snippets on them. So that's another one, and that's another one. So those go in the envelope that I made. And I'll be making an envelope for the other 2. So here's some other ideas I have for snippets. I had an old magazine, antique magazine, and had these lovely old pictures. So I cut them out, and then I put pieces of snippet on all of them. And then I just took a word from one of my printouts, like I showed you before, and I put them on there. So those are tags to go into books and journals. Here's another one, and this has a snippet on here. And then the last thing I thought I'd show you, I don't want to make this too long, is some of the snippets I make on when I've got a bunch of stuff, just a mess here. I'll pick up a piece of paper like this, and I'll sew on some snippets of whatever's on my table. Here's another one, just sewn onto paper. What else have I got? I've got another one here, and this is sewn onto paper. But also I thought I would show you the snippet roll. I keep it in here, the one that I used to cut all those bits for those postcards. So this was a big one I made a while back. And this is the back of it. I had this old piece of brocade fabric, and I wanted it all sort of fall and winter colours. So this is what I've got left of it. And that's how I make them. I don't think there's very much hand sewing on it, maybe a little bit. I did put a few beads on there, a few of my own handmade flowers, a crocheted pansy, and some little handmade. These are off trim, these flowers. And so most of it is just pieces I've picked up. I keep my bags of stuff color coordinated, and then I eventually will cut them off like that, and there you have it, and I have a nice trim for something. So once again, thank you for watching, and have a very nice new year coming up. And this is Lila in Hawaii. Goodbye.